Good afternoon, compliments of the season. My name is Femi Johnson and thanks for joining us on Nationwide, the first this year. President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has assured Nigerians that political campaigns and the 2015 elections will not distract his administration from his ongoing effort to significantly improve their living conditions. In his New Year broadcast to the nation, President Jonathan vowed that his involvement in the campaigns and election as the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, notwithstanding, he will remain fully focused on providing good governance and delivering better public services to Nigerians.
We are re-equipping and repositioning our armed forces to enhance their capacity to win the ongoing war against terror and insurgency. Regrettably, terrorists have unleashed much pain and agony on our land. They have made widows of our mothers and sisters and orphans of our children. They have shut down businesses, desecrated places of worship, and brought untold hardship to both men and women. They have violated the culture and peaceful way of life in our country, which took generations to build. They have destroyed countless schools and displaced people from their communities, driving them into exile. I want to assure you that the terrorists will not get away with the atrocities. They will not win. They will be routed. As president, I feel the pain of all affected communities and families. I hear their cries and share their sorrow and pain. We have done a lot of painstaking planning and work to resolve the current security challenge. We will bring justice to the service terrorists known as Boko Haram. They will be defeated. That is the solemn commitment I make today as President of the Federal Republic and Commander-in-Chief of our armed forces. By the special grace of God, the federal government under my leadership has continued in the past 4 years to lead our country forward, even under the most trying circumstances.
The president also pledged that steps will be taken by his administration to shield the poor and low-medium income earners from the full brunt of measures included in the 2015 budget to ensure the stability of the national economy in the face of the current downturn in the prices of crude oil.
Accelerating the diversification of our economy, the non-oil sector, which has grown by an average of 8% in the last few years, is now a major driver of growth in our economy. The 2015 national budget, which is now before the National Assembly, is targeted at deepening our effort at becoming a non-oil economy. The budget also includes measures to ensure that the downturn in the price of oil does not affect our development plans and our national economy too adversely.
While wishing Nigerians a happy and prosperous 2015, the president urged them to enter the new year with renewed hope, patriotism, and zeal to save their fatherland. Meanwhile, Nigerians have been reassured on the need to remain calm, prayerful, and also believe in the absolute power of God to take control of the affairs of the nation in the year 2015. Clergymen at the New Year service in some Pentecostal churches in Abuja say the nation will pass through 2015 successfully. Correspondent to Yinayoka reports.
Nigerians have shown that they are indeed happy and optimistic people as they welcome the year 2015 with singing and dancing, declaring hope and a new beginning. While counting their blessings, several songs accompanied with inviting dance steps were rendered to God for ushering them into the new year.
So 15 represents triple grace. We see the grace of God working for us.
It is said that at the end of the day, we'll be able to say all is well, that ends well.
And to see Nigeria through the electoral year.
Clergymen called on Nigerians to remain optimistic as the 2015 elections approach and believe in the wonder of prayers.
We must be honest, we must be upright with our God. Inasmuch we come together to pray as children of God, we have no fear.
Security-wise, he will do a new thing. Financially, he will do a new thing.
The purpose and the agenda of God for Nigeria shall come to pass.
The political class was also advised to allow God guide them throughout the election period. In Abuja, Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the primate of Nigerian Anglican Communion, the Most Reverend Nicholas Oko, has called on Nigerians to unite and fight the common enemy, terror. He made the call in his New Year message at the Diocese of Abuja Anglican Communion Life Camp in Abuja. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that similar call dominated church services in some other churches visited within Abuja metropolis. Over to Timothy.
For worshippers at the Diocese of Abuja Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, it was an opportunity to thank God for his faithfulness in the past years and also for witnessing 2015. The Most Reverend Nicholas Oko enjoined them and indeed Nigerians to rise above board in all the areas of the nation's weaknesses.
Insecurity was not there before. Some people are behind it and they are sponsoring it. And they are ensuring that it is going on. So my appeal is to those people who are sponsoring it, and those who are executing it, and those who are tacitly supporting it, that they should let us be, so that Nigeria can have rest.
It was a similar rendition of thanksgiving unto God at the Ekwa Central, Abuja. Reverend John Ibrahim enjoined Nigerians to be confident in God's ability to bring to an end all challenges confronting Nigeria.
Wherever we are, the peace of the Lord will be upon the land.
Reverend Ini Ukpuho of the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria, Gwarimpa, Abuja, and other ministers of God expressed the hope that the 2015 general elections will be peaceful and that Nigeria will remain an indivisible entity.
This year, Nigeria shall see a special manifestation of God's mighty power.
I want to also urge both Christians and Muslims to live in peace with one another.
Now, this 2015 will bring that to us as we are even looking towards the election period, that the Lord will give us the grace to even do it with one united body.
The leaders promised continuous prayer for the nation and its leaders. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Also, Christians in Abuja gathered in various churches to give thanks to God who made them to see the end of the year 2014 and the new year. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports that it was an opportunity to request from their Creator.
It was with a shout of joy that they welcomed the hour they have been waiting for.
God just delivered every member from 2014 to 2015 safely. So it's an exciting time. People's faith in God has been proven to them that God is real.
God, who has been directing the affairs of this country, will not leave Nigeria alone. Nigeria has always been the apple of God's eye.
We pray all nights, day and night, to make sure that God restored peace into this country.
For him to make us to cross over to a new year, he's a faithful God.
And I thank God for God giving me the grace to be alive and enter 2015.
If not for God's mercy, our service cannot do it. Our righteousness is like a filthy rag in his presence, but it's just his mercy.
Spiritual leaders and some worshippers are optimistic that the year 2015 will be peaceful and prosperous.
It's going to be a glorious year for this country and for every one of us. You'll be amazed. It is the will of God that will prevail in this country.
With God's intervention, there will be peace this year, this new year. And all acts of destruction, God will surely put aside.
They further reaffirmed their faith in God that the purpose of God for Nigeria will come to reality, as God will not leave the nation halfway. In Abuja, Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
Year 2015 is finally here, and as usual, the early hours has been greeted with cheers and pleasantries heralding the new year. Correspondent Basi Taikpang, who also visited churches in Abuja, reports that worshippers bade farewell to 2014, looking with optimism into the year 2015.
Christians gathered in various churches to sing praises to God for the grace to enter into the new year.
The year before you is a good year, but you must remember the Lord of God.
In the real Hebrew calendar, 15 means rest. So I believe this 2015, we shall rest from all our sufferings.
Some express optimism that 2015 will bring good tidings, but however advise that Nigerians enter the year with the fear of God by allowing peace to reign in their homes and the entire country.
I wish Nigeria a good 2015, a country free of crisis and troubles.
Well, I wish Nigerian and I wish the nation and the people of Nigeria a prosperous 2015.
The mood generally was that of excitement and happiness as the clock ticked to 12 a.m., signaling the dawn of 1st of January 2015. In Abuja, Basi Taikpang, NTA News.
Also from Ibadan, your state comes a report that the people turned out in their numbers at worshiping centers with much excitement to usher in the new year 2015. Correspondent Olumide Guntola reports on the mood of worshippers and also other activities that heralded the new year.
In Ibadan, the Oyo State capital ushered in the new year with church services. At the vibrant church of Queen Elizabeth Road, worshippers praise and thank God for his mercies that kept them till the new year 2015. The mood was not different at Christ Vessels of Grace Church, Yemetu Aladorin. However, in Okeado Baptist Church, it was a time for prophetic declaration for Nigeria and the citizenry. For worshippers at God's Power Evangelical Mission, Liberty Road, moving to the next level in 2015 through divine connection formed the focus of their prayer points. At the Christ Apostolic Church, Okeshego Okeado, Pastor Joe Sampson advised Nigerians to forsake sin and turn a new leaf in order to receive God's blessings in 2015. Some Muslim faithful were also not left out of the crossover night service worship. Some of the leaders at the various worship centers have this to say.
2015, we shall all rejoice, but we should hold on unto the Lord.
If you seek the goodness of this country, God will shall reward you for better.
We should be patient in suffering and thankful during good times. Worshippers prayed for the unity and peaceful election in the country, while fireworks were used to herald the new year. In Ibadan, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
As Nigerians celebrate the new year, First Lady Dame Patience Jonathan has joined in the celebration and congratulated all women, particularly those who had the first babies of the year in different hospitals. The First Lady, in a New Year message, prayed that the year will bring forth much desired peace, development and growth of the nation. She urges women to continue in their resolution to be stronger, peacemakers and bridge builders in the new year, while advising them to bring their children in the way of the Lord. The First Lady also reminded them to actively participate in the forthcoming elections by registering and also voting. And the baby of the year, with tenacity of purpose and determination not to give up, the efforts paid off as the FCT 2015 Baby of the Year was this morning sighted at Guinea Savannah Medical Center at Area 11, Gariki, Abuja, at about 6 o'clock in the morning. Abdullahi Ajia is standing by with the details of that report.
Like the usual practice, this year's search for the 2015 Baby of the Year was like a head of a camel passing through the eye of a needle. This may be attributed to the ongoing strike by the medical workers in public hospitals. At 6:29, then came twins. This is a double blessing to Mr. and Mrs. Abdulmalik Bello.
As a gynecologist, we are almost always prepared, for obstetric emergencies like this. And she's actually not term. She's about 30 weeks plus 5 days. So she ruptured membrane, and the whole idea is to do what they call conservative management, to gain more time and allow the fetal lungs of the baby to mature. So I admitted them yesterday after she ruptured membrane, and I was doing my conservative management. And I was hoping that if I could get 1-2 weeks, I'd already contacted the pediatricians, and their advice was also, let us see if we can gain 1 or 2 weeks. But at the same time, we know that because we are not God, anything can happen, we could fail. The labor could just come up and just start, and that's exactly what happened. By 3 a.m., she went into labor. I was informed. So the option I had was quickly to do a cesarean section, because it was actually quite riskier for the babies to come out via the normal route, that is normal vaginal delivery, But while we were preparing, she had the urge to bear down, and when I examined her, I felt the head of the baby. Well, I didn't have any option, because by the time we say let's go and do cesarean section, the baby would have been out. So I quickly had to do a normal delivery for both babies. Of course, the second baby was coming with legs, so we do what they call breech extraction. Luckily for us, the weight of the babies were more than expected. One is 1.9 kg, and the second one is 1.8 kg, which is moderately good. I don't think they will stay in incubator for more than 1 week.
The parents of the newborn babies of the year, Abdulmalik Bello and his wife, Fatima, were full of praise to God for giving them what they called best gifts of the year.
I give glory to Allah that make it possible. Because all along, we've been envisaging that she's going to go through CS. And besides, it's not yet time for her to deliver, but by His grace, God decided to, bring them out today. I had twins before, a boy and a girl, and now I have girls. We give glory to God. Equally, we are grateful to Dr. Philip and his team.
Alhamdulillah, it's a grace just by the power of God. We were working towards adding additional week because the children were not still the age. So, but God made everything possible for us. I was happy. It's not by my power, it was just the intervention of God.
In Abuja, I am Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
Congratulations to FCT Baby of the Year. We are now going to Lagos to get more reports on what is happening in Lagos and environs, and also the New Year mood. Over to Jennifer now. And Jennifer, compliments of the season.
Compliments of the season to you, Femi. Thank you for joining us in Lagos. Happy New Year, Nigerians. Welcome to Lagos. Clergymen at the various church services in the country have prayed for fervent restoration of peace and security to the country. They have also asked Nigerians to have reverence for the Lord, as He has capacity and competence to turn around the fortune of the nation. This was the thrust of the message at the crossover night services in Lagos.
It was jubilation galore by the congregation at various churches visited in the Lagos metropolis during the crossover night services. The congregation sang, danced in appreciation to God for making it possible for them to see yet another new year, which many other people may not have been privileged to witness. It was the consensus of religious leaders from different churches that through God's divine intervention, Nigeria will overcome turbulent period in year 2015. They describe year 2015 as a year of peace, harmony, and a turnaround in the nation's economy.
When in unity we stand, because everything that happened in this country that was supposed to divide us or create war It didn't happen.
And I want to tell Nigerians that there is hope for this country. No matter the doings of the devil, Nigeria will remain one country.
The religious leaders also prayed for fervent restoration of peace and for security of the nation, especially in the northeastern states, where the activities of Boko Haram have led to the death of many Nigerians.
Nigeria is not going to divide. Rather, it's going to be a year we are going to be much more knit together.
Let us choose a divine person, not by religion, not because he's a Christian or he's a Muslim.
Nigerians must go back to God, because without God, there will be no Nigeria.
On the forthcoming elections, the religious leaders asked politicians to obey the rules of engagement to ensure peaceful and fair conduct of elections.
Also in church services to herald the new year in Lagos, religious leaders asked those in authority to lead by example and seek God's intervention in all they do. They are optimistic that the several challenges confronting the country can be surmounted when Nigerians live rightly. These are part of New Year messages by religious leaders in Lagos. Annie Daniels has more.
The religious leaders in their separate sermons observed that Nigeria is drifting from the kingdom of God as evident in what seemed to be a helpless situation confronting her. They are, however, optimistic that Nigeria can overcome these challenges with divine intervention and fervent prayer from all and sundry. They advised President Goodluck Jonathan to be courageous and provide purposeful and inspiring leadership in the fight against terrorism.
It is our wish that our security agencies, led by the Commander-in-Chief and all those who are around him, would take even better, more focused steps to ensure that these problems that we experienced in the past will be things of the past.
The politicians seeking elected positions, the electorates chosen them, fear God. The righteous go to God. Who do you want as the president of Nigeria?
Nigeria should open up, they should believe, trust in God, pray.
Meanwhile, Pope Francis, in his message on the World Peace Day, appealed to world leaders to give priority to the needs of their citizens while upholding the dignity and freedom of the oppressed. The congregation also offered songs of praise in appreciation to God for his love towards Nigeria. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
As the world marks the beginning of another year, the need for world leaders to reflect on the centrality of mutual peace and respect for the human person and the overall well-being of mankind has been emphasized. Members of the civil liberty organization, the Justice Development and Peace Center, made the call when they embarked on a road march in Lagos to commemorate this year's World Peace Day. Emil Dori has more.
In view of the turbulent and challenging moments being witnessed the world over, concerned organizations and individuals are now engaging in sensitization and mobilization of Nigerians to speak up and fight against situations that may threaten world peace. For 48 years, the Justice Development and Peace Center has been in the vanguard of fighting human rights abuses as advocates for peace and justice across the globe.
Without peace, there can be no reasonable development or progress in society. So what we are doing today, we feel that it's important, and we hope that it will bear the much needed fruit and the desired fruit at the end of the day.
We cannot close our eyes to the suffering of humanity. We cannot close our eyes to areas of injustice, inequality, and conflict. And so the essence of this rally is to bring the attention of the world once more to a very insidious and pernicious activity.
The JDPC is playing a critical role to avoid heating up the polity by ensuring the promotion of a violent, free and fair election in February.
In 2011, we started what is called mandate protection. We insisted to the voters that they should not leave the polling station. They must be there for the votes to be counted. This year, we insist on upping the ante by insisting that even before the election, that voter education is continuous, enlightenment.
Justice Development and Peace Center is established by the Pontifical Council for the enthronement of peace and development in the world.
As the federal government motivates the military to end insurgency in the country, the wife of the Chief of Army Staff, Feli Minima, says Nigerians must also support military and shun acts of terrorism and violence. This, she noted, will assist in putting an end to the security challenges in the country. She stated this during her visit to the 81 Division of the Nigerian Army in Lagos. The report. Lagos.
Feli Minima, who solicited the support and prayers of the wives of the military personnel charged with the responsibility of combating terrorism, explained that the women must be strong, prayerful, and cater for the needs of their families in the absence of their husbands. The president of the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association urged the wives of military officers and men not to feel abandoned by their husbands, as the honors of safeguarding the country is to be shared by these officers and men and their families, including their wives. She also encouraged them to remain focused and empower themselves with vocational skills that will help meet the needs of their home fronts.
Teach how to fish so that you will not be a body kind of liability to anybody. Anytime they say they are coming to give something, you come. When you have something doing, you will be independent. You just do something.
Mrs. Feli Minima, as part of the tour, visited the 9th Brigade at Ikeja and Ojo Cantonment, both in Lagos, and the 35 Artillery Brigade in Abeokuta. Relief materials were distributed to support the women. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
And Lynn's report ends our contribution from Lagos. Back to you, Femi, in Abuja, for more on Nationwide News. Happy New Year again.
Thank you, Jennifer. And in the spirit of the season, the National President of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Pastor Ayo Rishijafor, has presented some poverty alleviation devices and instruments to some Nigerians. Pastor Rishijafor at the event called on Nigerians to be hopeful in the year 2015. The report.
The event is an annual poverty alleviation program of the Word of Life Bible Church, where Pastor Ureshijafor presented 7 brand new Hyundai cars, 20 tricycles, as well as 100 grinding machines to the less privileged.
Just too happy. Just too happy.
I'm the Papa, Ayo Ureshijafor, for what he has done in our life. I win grinding machine.
At the program was the Managing Director of the Federal Housing Authority, Professor Mohammed Al-Amin.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Congratulations.
As well as other Islamic clerics, including an Imam from Maiduguri, Al-Haji Mohammed Saidu. The Imam and a Maiduguri-based pastor also got gifts of a car each.
If this is the kind of thing that men of God are supposed to do.
Religion is about knowing God and expressing your knowledge of God in what you do for man.
The camp president reiterated the need for a peaceful Nigeria.
Every evil will pass away. Good will remain.
Pastor Ureshijafor expressed optimism that Nigeria will witness abundance in year 2015. In Abuja, Ruben Okala, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the message of peace among Nigerians and the call for national unity reverberated all through the year 2014 and remains relevant as Nigerians step into the new year. Abdul Malik Adil has more on this development.
Nigeria still stands after a year that so many have described as not only difficult and challenging, but one that has tested the nation's core values and its unity. This message of peace is seemingly taking roots in the society as most people look forward to the new year with hope.
Let us live in peace, let us live in harmony, let us embrace unity, let us embrace dialogue.
Acknowledging the fact that there's one God and calling on this God to help us clearly define what we call our national ideology, an idea that will even make us begin to think positively about our oneness.
We must also have one national or one unity project. There must be projects that we must budget for, plan for, and implement in Nigeria that is devoid of the tribal differences. devoid of the regional differences, devoid of the religious differences. This is Nigeria project.
The road may have been rough for Nigeria and indeed Nigerians in 2014. As we usher in 2015, Nigerians are giving various suggestions towards building a united, viral, and prosperous nation.
Nigeria is not for one person. It's for all. So let us come together and team up together and rebuild Nigeria as one Nigeria, as a united country.
Can only pursue national interests if the national interests also translate into our national security interests. And both national interests and national security interests are dependent on national economic interests. And the national economic interests must permeate the entire society. People must have a feeling of inclusiveness.
The summary is that where there's a will, there's a way. Whether in politics, religion, or security, Nigerians are rising up to the task of taking ownership of their responsibilities. After all, it is their collective destiny. In Abuja, Abdulmalik Adio, NTA News.
You are watching NTA Nationwide. This is the first day of the year 2015. We now pause for some messages and we have more reports shortly.
Happy New Year 2015. Visualize it, believe it. Former wrote Goodluck Jonathan and Namadi Sambo for President and Vice President 2015. Vote PDP. Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria, supporting PDP for Goodluck and Sambo 2015.
Said to you, we really love you. Thank you for being with us.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
2013, John Obi Mikel of Chelsea Football Club and Super Eagles midfielder was crowned Nigeria's king of the pitch, and His Excellency Senator Leo Imoke CON, Football Friendly Governor of the Year. Who will be Nigeria's king of football? Matchmakers Consult International and Nigerian Television Authority NTA presents the Nigerian Pitch Awards 2014 and its Night of Honors. Who will dethrone Vincent Iyama as Goalkeeper of the Year? Can Emmanuel Emenike remain Nigeria's Striker of the Year? Will Kano Pillars remain Nigeria's best club side? In 2013, you voted Super Eagles coach Stephen Kesh as Coach of the Year, Toyin Ibitoye Football Journalist of the Year TV, Adeojo Kere Football Journalist of the Year Print, Bimbo Adeola Football Journalist of the Year Radio, Chief Felix Anyansi Manager of the Year, Guinness Nigeria PLC Best Corporate Sponsor of Football of the Year, and Lagos State, a state with the best grassroots football development program. Nigeria Pitch Awards, Nigeria's own football award.
Transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Nigeria is a canvas of untold stories, human stories, stories about environment and account of events, stories that rarely grace the TV screen, fresh and engaging. What better way to tell those stories?
my paddling is failing me.
Who better tells those stories?
And when they move, their movement is total.
Rogo at Large. Unique, eye-opening, and engaging. Rogo at Large airs first quarter 2015 on NTA Network.
We appreciate your patronage. We say to you, we really love you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for being our strength. Yeah, yeah. Patronage has made us stronger.
We appreciate your patronage. We say to you, we really love you. Thank you for being with us.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Shopee has ensured the reconstruction of the Abuja Lokoja Road and the East-West Road in Port Harcourt.
The standard gauge rail tracks from Abuja to Kaduna and Lagos to Kano indicate that our trains are coming back.
The second Niger Bridge in the southeast and the local Oweto Bridge in the north central are in progress, thanks to Shopee.
Shopee's mass transit program has made transportation easier for Nigerians.
Shopee has rehabilitated over 1,000 health centers across Nigeria.
Shopee has provided mama kits to pregnant women, and polio is on the verge of eradication.
Shopee has also ensured the provision of social amenities and through its various training programs for young people guarantees a better future.
Shopee, delivering service with integrity.
You are still on to Nationwide, and we have more on how New Year was also ushered in Kaduna. Amin is standing by. Amin, Happy New Year.
Thank you, Femi, and compliment of the seasoned Nigerians. Christians in Kaduna converged on various churches to offer prayers for the new year. At St. John's Catholic Church, the service dwelt on the need for forgiveness as panacea for world peace. Correspondent Benny Adams reports.
The assistant parish priest of the church, Reverend Father Joseph Awen, advised Christians to reflect on their way of life and resolve to be better people this new year. The Catholic Church also used the day to celebrate Mary. The church celebrates Mary, the solemnity of Mary, the Holy Mother of God. And I reminded them also today, 1st January 2015, every year we celebrate World Day of Peace. At the Echo Church, Reverend Timothy Ania advised politicians to watch their utterances for the peaceful conduct of this year's elections in the country.
Let us put the fear of God in us. When we have the fear of God, all other things will follow. Then you will tolerate one another. Then you have peace with one another. Then you will like to do what is right.
In the meantime, the Anglican Bishop of Usasa, Zaria, Bishop Buba Lamido, admonished Christians on the need to refocus on reconciliation and rededication to the service of God and humanity. Earlier, the crossover to 2015 in Kaduna featured prayers in churches, singing praises and thanksgiving to God for ushering Nigerians into the new year. In Kaduna, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Away from the New Year celebrations, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Adeshola Amosu, said it is a collective responsibility for Nigerians to end terrorism. He stated this at the commissioning of projects executed by the leadership of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji, Kaduna. Correspondent Muhammad Lawal Baba completes this story.
Air Marshal Amosu said the fight against insurgency needs the cooperation of all Nigerians to bring it to an end. Air Marshal Adeshola Amosu said the Nigerian Air Force will not relent in improving the living standard of its personnel. Commissioning the projects, which include borehole and multipurpose building for junior officers, the Chief of Air Staff said it will go a long way in boosting their morale.
Everything transcends from the Mr. President's transformation agenda, our vision
is tidied up along that line.
Commandant Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji Air Vice Marshal John Chris Efemeje speaks on what informed the project.
This is an international school. I must keep the international standard so that about 21 foreign students we have here from 21 different countries will look at Nigeria as a great country.
In Kaduna, Muhammad Lawal Baba, NTA News.
The Jigawa state government has vaccinated more than 3 million livestock from 2007 to date. Governor Sulalamido stated this while flagging up livestock vaccination in Burnukudu local government area of the state. Correspondent Habib Hussein reports.
Since 2007, when the vaccination was reintroduced by present administration, it has now become a routine exercise in Jigawa state. A state with more than 70% of its population as farmers and pastoralists, government deemed it necessary to introduce programs that will satisfy their yearnings. Governor Sule Lamido said, apart from provision of fertilizer and certified seeds at a subsidized rate, his administration also resuscitates grazing reserves and provide cattle routes to address farmers' herdsmen clashes. Commissioner of Agriculture and Natural Resources Alhaji Rabi Isa Taura said, Jigawa state government invests a lot of resources to agriculture to ensure food security and economic prosperity among its people. From Dutse, Habib Hussein, NTA News.
Stakeholders in education have emphasized the need for the federal government to establish a commission for secondary education as it is for basic and tertiary education with a view to improving its standard in the country. This is part of the submissions at the Sensitization Workshop on the importance of qualitative education to children, organized by the Zazzau Emirate Committee on Development in collaboration with Parent Teachers Association, Kaduna Zone. Correspondent Ahmed Umar Kudan has the details.
The forum provided a platform for stakeholders to discuss challenges affecting secondary education and the way forward. In his presentation, the Secretary Zazzau Emirate Committee on Development, San Haruna, said the falling standard of secondary education is noted with serious concern in 1992, when less than 2% of Kaduna State indigenes gained admission into universities due to mass failure in SSE and JAM.
Every community should know from today in Zazzau Emirate that it is their responsibility to ensure that things are moving well in the school, to ensure that facilities are available in the school, to ensure that structures are maintained in the school, to ensure that they monitor and regulate activities within the school.
Emir of Zazzau Alhaji Shehu Idris, represented by Daniel Zazzau Yusuf Ladan, stressed the need for collaborative effort among stakeholders to ensure children acquire qualitative education. Kaduna State Commissioner for Education Ibrahim Ali, represented by Deputy Director Female Education Elizabeth Fatima David, said government has put machinery in place to encourage community participation in running the affairs of schools. The National President, Parent Teachers Association Harun Anjuma, said the association is doing its best towards the provision of quality education.
We do provide them with part-time teachers. We also construct additional classroom where we don't have enough, and we also engage the service of security personnel.
Other stakeholders advocated for provision of policy that will ensure effective teaching and learning. In Kaduna, Ahmad Umar Kudan, NTA News.
And that does it from Kaduna. Back to Femi for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Amin. And every year comes with many aspirations, challenges, as well as set objectives. In this report, correspondent Chukwuno Nsomo examines the impact of New Year resolutions on an individual and how it can be channeled towards national development.
Just like governments at all levels, at the beginning of every year, most Nigerians take stock on how they fared in the previous year. They also make resolutions on how to better their lives, either spiritually, socially, economically, or otherwise in the new year.
To be very close to God and take good care of my family.
Fasting and prayer. From January 2nd, I go on at least 40 days fasting and prayer.
To be committed with whatever I have been doing.
I want to be able to move closer to God because I know that the end times are very, very near.
Work on how I will be able to improve my quality of relationship. I've also designed a program for the year to trim down.
But how can these diverse resolutions be harmonized for national development?
I made promise to Allah that I will live in peace with everybody. I want all the people of Nigeria to also have that in mind. There will be no war, there will be no crisis, there will be no fight, there will be peaceful coexistence.
Having a covenant with God, as God will not disappoint you, you must not disappoint God. And we must not all disappoint our country. Because God knows the reason why He created every one of us to be part and parcel of this country.
As the 2015 begins and Nigerians heading to the polls in less than 2 months, it is expected that all hands must be on deck to ensure that the country remains one indivisible entity. Happy New Year! Chukwunonsomo, NTA News.
Senator Ifeanyi Ararume of the People's Democratic Party has expressed optimism that Imo people will vote massively for President Goodluck Jonathan in the 2015 general elections. He was speaking while addressing a crowd of supporters from his constituency in Owerri. Beatrice Ayam reports.
Ararume described President Goodluck Jonathan as a man who stands for justice and has respect for rule of law. Senator Ararume said he is still in the governorship race and expressed optimism that justice will be done. He thanked members of the party who supported him during the PDP gubernatorial primary and called on them to support PDP candidates in the state for different elective positions in the forthcoming general election to enable the party take over power in the state come 2015. Earlier, the former lawmaker had taken a ride with his supporters from Sam Mbakwe Cargo Airport, where he landed round Owerri capital city. He made stopover at strategic places to also solicit for the people's support for the president. In Owerri, Beatrice Anyam, NTA News.
The people of Igburu in Rivers State have been urged to be steadfast and support President Goodluck Jonathan's re-election and the 2015 general election to enable them realize their demand for more local governments areas. The state chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Felix Obua, gave the charge at a rally in support of the president and party candidates in Rivers State. Dauju White reports.
Chairman Felix Obua, who was elated at the massive turnouts to drum support for President Goodluck Jonathan, Nyesom Wike and others, urged Igburu people to vote massively for PDP to realize their demand.
Vote this. We must all come out in mass. Come forward for the 2015 to vote. The man ready, President Goodluck our leader.
Former River State PDP Secretary Oris Onyiri said Igburu people are 100% for PDP and noted that no amount of lobbying by rival political parties will distract them. Spokesman of Igburu community, Dr. Hyacinth J, on behalf of the people, declared their unalloyed support for President Goodluck Jonathan's re-election and Nyesom Wike for governor. In Oba Ebemandoni local government area, Dauju White, NTA News.
Pope Francis has called on all Christians to cultivate the habit of defending the poor and weak rather than defending themselves from the weak. He made the call in his New Year message at St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican, and also Shanghai Stampede kills 35 during New Year. Eve celebration. Details with correspondent Obiageli Ugoke.
In his homily for a New Year's Eve Vespers service, Pope Francis set up a contrast between what he described as the liberation offered by Christ and the slavery imposed by sin. In Shanghai, an investigation has been launched into what sparked a stampede during the New Year's Eve celebrations in Shanghai, killing at least 35 people and left 40 others injured. The trigger of the tragedy still has to be confirmed, but witnesses say the incident was at least partly caused when people tried picking up fake money thrown from a building. Dozens of relatives gathered at a hospital waiting for news of their loved ones. Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
And the sports now, Super Eagles players intensified training ahead of next week's international friendly as President, Nigerian Olympic Committee unveils plans for 2015. Let's join Ayodiji Makinde for details.
As Nigerians mark the New Year public holiday with pomp and pageantry, players and coaches of the senior national team, the Super Eagles, are sweating it out in training at the main bowl of the Abuja National Stadium. This is in preparation for the international friendlies against Sudan and Cote d'Ivoire next week in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Assistant coach Daniel Amokachi, who led the training session with 23 of the invited 25 players, is optimistic of a better preparation for the friendlies.
We will do our portion, try to build them up to to the level that we think they can play that game. We took it easy, just for them to have the feel of the ball and a bit of cardio to see if they can stand the next few days.
In the meantime, the president of the Nigerian Olympic Committee, Habu Gumel, said the involvement of private sector in sponsoring more sporting activities will help in taking sports to greater heights. Speaking on the quest to strengthen Nigerian sports and plans for 2015, Gumel said more sports federations administrators will be exposed to international sports and politics.
I will make sure that I encourage a lot of members of the National Federation to aspire to become members of their confederation, to become members of their international federation, so that jointly we can be able to help our country, to help our athletes, to help the administration of sport in this country.
Manu Ginobili spared San Antonio Spurs more overtime heartache by securing a 95-93 points victory over New Orleans Pelicans. Ginobili prevented Spurs from suffering another overtime defeat at home by collecting 7 points to help the host overcome a 6-point deficit on the way to a dramatic victory over New Orleans Pelicans. With sports updates, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
It is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of the State Security. And that's it on NTA Nationwide. We thank you for joining us. My name is Femi Johnson. Do join us for more reports that will come your way at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock news, and also the network news at 9. Good afternoon, and once again, Happy New Year.